The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is paid for by Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, who is solely responsible for its content. Portions transcribed.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker of Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Welcome to the Real Estate Roundtable on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm here with my co-host, husband, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney. How are you, Pat?
Very good. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. We're here today with attorney Kevin Grebus from Colbert and Grebus. Good morning.
Good morning, Jackie.
Thanks for being here with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we discuss real estate. We have an excellent real estate team full of realtors who've been listing, selling, and appraising real estate for over 50 years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and get a live view of Dunmore Corners and see what's going on.
Check us out on social media, and don't forget the MLS listings and archive radio shows are on mobile-friendly jruddy.com. That's jruddy.com, where we also have all the popular podcast apps that we feature our radio show on. Once again, attorney Kevin Grebus from Colbert and Grebus. Who are you and what do you do, please?
Sure, Jackie. I am a certified elder law attorney. I practice on areas of the law that affect generally people 55 years of age and older. So we do estate planning, estate administration, and asset protection planning for those entering a nursing home. I've been practicing as an attorney since 2002, and I've been certified as an expert in the field of elder law since 2009.
Let me tell you something that's remarkable, and I don't think I didn't realize, and I'm sure some listeners out there that are tuning in today may not realize, to be certified in elder law is a huge deal, and there's less than 70 in the state of Pennsylvania?
That's correct. Elder law really is a specialty, and in order to attain your certification in elder law, you have to meet criteria set forth by the National Elder Law Foundation. You have to prove to the foundation that you practice truly as an elder law attorney. You must get recommendations from several other attorneys, and you have to pass a very rigorous examinations designed to kind of weed out those who just dabble in elder law. And the pass rate of that exam is very low. So there really are relatively few of us. And when a person in the community works with a certified elder law attorney, they can be assured that that person really understands these areas of the law and can guide them and help them plan their estate.
Okay, so for a lot of people, their home is the largest asset they have. And sometimes when they want to, we come in, we're sitting at their kitchen table, they've just put their loved one in a nursing home, and they think that the nursing home is going to come in and take this home. And a lot of times, they're correct in that assumption if they haven't planned accordingly, right?
That's right. The home can indeed be at risk without proper planning. And as you point out, in our area, people are very much attached to their home. It could be the homestead where they grew up, maybe where their parents grew up, and they really have a vested interest in keeping that home within the family. So it's important for people to know that there are ways to protect the house in advance of the need of long-term care. And that might involve setting up a specialized type of trust and moving the house into a trust. It might involve doing something called a life estate, where the parents retain the right to live in their house, but they give a future interest to their children. And in that way, they protect the house not only from nursing home expenses, but also from any liabilities that could be happening to their children in the future.
Okay, so a life estate. Let's talk about that, break it down.
Sure.
What happens with that?
So with a life estate, it's simply a deed where the owners of the home retain the rights on a new deed to live in that home for the remainder of their life. And they give to someone else, typically a child or maybe all of the children, something that's known as a remainder interest. And what happens is when the life tenants, the original owners, pass away, the children automatically own the home. It doesn't go through probate. It's not subject to any nursing home expenses. and you're pretty much guaranteed that it's going to pass to your heirs by setting up a life estate.
What about inheritance tax?
There is inheritance tax on a life estate in Pennsylvania. The rate of inheritance tax is going to differ depending on who the beneficiaries are. But if the beneficiaries are children and grandchildren, it's 4.5% of the value of the inherited asset.
So if the person that has the life estate goes into a nursing home and passes away, when the children sell the home, is there a problem with that life estate? Does it extinguish upon death, or does it hang up the title?
It extinguishes upon death. So as soon as the original life tenants pass away, the remainder beneficiaries on the deed become the owners, and they're free to sell the home and do whatever they wish. They're going to have to pay inheritance tax on it, but they will also receive a step up in tax basis. So it's a wonderful thing for them when they sell the property. They're not going to have capital gains taxes to worry about.
I see. Okay, so this is very complex. What if somebody didn't plan and they didn't come to you, or they didn't set up a trust, or they didn't do any sort of estate planning? Let's face it, there are a lot of people that don't even want to think about death, not to mention talk about it. So they let it go. Is it too late if the person that owns a home goes into a nursing home?
In our law firm, my partner Brenda Colbert and I always are of the opinion that it's never too late. There are always planning options, even after someone enters a nursing home. And I think to get a full understanding of how this works, you need to realize what benefits are available to help pay for nursing home care. The program that we're trying to qualify our clients for is called medical assistance. And most people aren't going to be eligible for that immediately because it has financial eligibility rules. And most people have too much in the way of money and resources in order to qualify. So planning in a crisis involves gifting, taking assets that are at risk and gifting them either to a trust or to trusted family members. Those gifts will create ineligibility for medical assistance benefits. And then what we need to do is reserve enough money to pay privately during that ineligibility period. It's a delicate process, and it has to be done very carefully in order to be successful.
Okay, my head's spinning. So the average cost of nursing home care in Pennsylvania is around $115,000 a year?
It's about $150,000, actually, $150,000.
Okay.
And so that breaks down to between $12,000 and $13,000 per month.
Wow. And so if there are assets and something wasn't set up, that the could be depleted in no time.
That's right. If you're spending assets at a rate of, $12,000 or $13,000 a month, think of the people, in our audience and what you have in your 401k, your CDs, your savings account, how quickly that money would be spent down if you had to spend it at that rate. Okay.
So then an applicant would need to spend down to what? What's the number, magic number?
Yes. So in countable assets, the magic number is $8,000 for most people. For some, it's $2,400, depending on their income.
Before a medical assistance program kicks in.
That's right.
All right.
And then how would the nursing home, how do they go after your home? Say I own that home and I go in, I exhaust my money. What do? Do they put a lien on the home or?
So interestingly, it's typically not the nursing home that's going to go after the home, because the home is an exempt asset for medical assistance eligibility purposes. But the problem is, if the medical assistance recipient is the sole owner of the home and their name is the only name on the deed, when they pass away, it's the state that's putting the lien against the property, because the state is seeking repayment for all the Medicaid dollars spent on behalf of that person during their lifetime.
Yes, we purchased the property years ago where the fellow went in, he was alone, and he went into the nursing home, and it was an acre and a half, and we had to go through a whole procedure, some welfare, I forget the agency that we had to deal with. We had an attorney who specialized in that, but it was a minefield. It really was unbelievable.
That's right. So if a person who's been receiving medical assistance benefits passes away and they're the sole owner of their home, even if their will leaves the home to their family, Pennsylvania has a lien against it. They'll place the lien, they'll require that the home be sold, and that amount of money from the sale be used to repay the Commonwealth for the Medicaid dollars spent on that person's behalf during their lifetime. Fortunately, there are things people can do in advance to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's where we come into that life estate that we talked about earlier, Jackie. And there's also another way to protect the home that I think is even better than the life estate.
Okay, what's that?
That would be a specialized type of trust, an irrevocable family asset protection trust. The trust offers more flexibility than a life estate, and it also enables people to protect more than just the home. A trust can be used to protect financial resources like cash, certificates of deposit, life insurance policies, investments, mutual funds, and so forth.
Everything goes in the trust.
Almost everything. One major asset that can't go in a trust is retirement accounts. So no IRAs or 401ks, but practically everything else can be protected by placing it in trust. The key, though, is a trust is advanced planning. When you transfer assets to a trust, you are making a gift. And for medical assistance purposes, there is a 5-year look back. So you want to do this well in advance of the need for long-term care to make sure you get through those 5 years.
I have experience with this. We had to set up an irrevocable trust. My father died, and my mother was, we put her into assisted living. We set up the irrevocable trust. How do you define a trust? Exactly what is a trust? Because people hear that and they think that you have to be like a multimillionaire to have one.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about what a trust is and who it can serve. So a trust is really an alternate form of ownership. It's almost like establishing a corporation or business. You have the people who are looking to protect their assets. It could be a single person or a married couple. They would be the grantors setting up the trust. They would then choose someone else to serve as a trustee. They could choose one of their children to be the trustee. So they would then sign an agreement of trust with the trustee to establish this family irrevocable asset protection trust. Then this trust can own assets the same way you and I can own assets, like real estate, investments, and so forth. It has its own tax ID number. It earns income. It's almost like it is its own entity, separate and distinct from the people who created it and separate and distinct from the trustee. And then when the creators of the trust pass away, all the assets in the trust are inherited by their beneficiaries, typically their children. And those assets that are inherited are not subject to estate recovery. So the Commonwealth cannot place a lien against any assets held in a trust.
Now, with irrevocable trust, people think that they can't touch anything, that they're practically signing everything away. But the experience we had with my mother is that the expenses for her living in the assisted living was able to be taken out of this. Am I incorrect?
So it depends really on how the trust is set up. The trust is irrevocable in the sense that you who create the trust cannot cancel it. But if you appoint someone like a trusted family member, like a child as the trustee, you can certainly direct your child as to what you'd like to have done with the trust. And you even retain the right to remove the trustee. So if you're unhappy with the performance of your trustee, you can remove them and have someone else appointed. The only catch is you cannot be your own trustee and your spouse cannot be your trustee. But literally anyone else can serve as a trustee for you. And the assets that are held in this trust, they don't have to be taken to some special bank and some special account. Everything stays where it is. So if you have assets with a certain investor or investment company, those assets remain exactly where they are in exactly the same form that you have them in. They're just retitled into the name of this new trust to protect them from future nursing home expenses.
Getting back to the life estate. So say,
are you paying attention, Jackie? Because
I am.
There's going to be a quiz at the end of
this is something.
This is necessary.
This is very necessary.
Lots of people just look the other way and pretend, this is never going to happen to me. I don't have to worry about this. And then they put it off. And then it's a car wreck and it's too late.
Right. But being counseled by someone such as attorney Kevin Grebus from Colbert and Grebus, a certified elder law attorney, you, I would say, are an expert.
This is what we do. Thank you, Jackie. My partner, Brenda, and I mean, this is all we do. We don't do litigation. We don't file lawsuits of any kind. We simply help people plan their estates and protect their estates from future and current long-term care expenses.
Well, like real estate, I always say there's no sale that's exactly the same. There's no house, there's no sellers, buyers. Every situation is different. So I'm sure that's the case with you.
Absolutely. We're meeting with different people every day. People have different goals. And what we have to do is be ready to be flexible with them to help them meet their needs.
There's not one suit fits all.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
good.
right.
All right, but getting back to the life estate, wondering if there is a life estate in place, the loved one that owns the home, that retained the life estate, goes to a nursing home. Can the heirs sell the property while that individual is still with us on the earth?
So the life estate can be sold, but what's going to happen is the proceeds are going to be allocated between the life tenant, the parent, and the remaindermen, the children. So some of that money would go back into the parent's name and then become exposed to long-term care expenses.
Gotcha.
With a trust, that doesn't happen. And that's one of the reasons a trust is more flexible and for many people a better option. Because if your home is in a trust and then you have to sell it after you enter a nursing home, the proceeds from the sale, 100% of those proceeds remain in the trust and remain protected from the nursing home. And none of that money would have to be used to pay for long-term care.
Excellent. All right. With us today, attorney Kevin Grebus from Colbert and Grebus. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
There's several ways, Jackie. They can certainly give us a call at 570-299-7909, or they can visit us online at elderlawnepa.com.
Okay, great. Thank you. Pat?
Yes, we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in 801 West Grove Street in Taylor for $260,000. This great home sits on a large flat lot of 50 by 140. It's got a concrete driveway, a large 2-car garage, and a nice yard with low taxes of only $2,200 a year. This remodeled home is in move-in condition with a new kitchen with granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, a first-floor laundry. The basement has a new B-dry system. The bathrooms have been updated, and there are beautiful hardwood floors. That's a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a 2-car garage at 801 West Grove Street in Taylor for $260,000, and that's listed by Nicole Clark of our office.
Our valued sponsor this week is Eric Green's Outdoor Cleaning. Looking to power wash your outdoor space? Look no further than Green's Outdoor Cleaning. Their expert team specializes in power washing, gutter cleaning, and window cleaning to leave your home looking spotless. Whether you're preparing for a special event or just need a seasonal refresh, they are there to help. With competitive pricing and exceptional customer service, Green's Outdoor Cleaning is a perfect choice for all your outdoor cleaning needs. Contact Green's Outdoor Cleaning today to schedule your appointment and let them transform your space. 570-483-8855 or visit greensoutdoorcleaning.com. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We'll be right back. When considering to sell or buy a home, why choose Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate? Let me tell you why. 70% of home buyers settle for the first agent they meet, and many regret it. 90% of home sellers hire an agent, but was it the right choice? Don't have agent remorse. I'm Jackie Ruddy, and I've been in and around the real estate business for most of my life. And at Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, we've been selling real estate for half a century. But we do not do it halfway. You deserve better than average. Average doesn't help you. We know it's all about you and what you need. Century 21 is the #1 in brand awareness, is the most recognized name in real estate, and is the most respected in the industry. In this market, if you dream big, you need to move fast. So it makes perfect sense to contact Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, 570-344-6724, and visit jready.com. That's JRUDDY.com. We're back with more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
And we're back.
We are back with attorney Kevin Grebus from Colbert and Grebus. Good morning.
Good morning, Jackie and Pat.
heavy conversation for the morning time.
Yes, it is. A lot of serious stuff, right?
Right. So we were talking before the break about how it's a great idea for people to pre-plan their largest asset, their home, or what happens if in the event they're put into long-term care, or if they pass, what happens with this and all their other assets. We talked about trust, we talked about life estates, and I wanted to, Pat had a question.
Yeah, when your house is in a trust, you said, and there's a stepped-up cost basis. What does that mean? A lot of people don't understand what that means.
Yeah. So when a person inherits property, whether it be through a trust or through a will or even by a life estate, what happens is whatever that home is worth the day that the previous owner passed away, that becomes the value that they get assigned for the home. So now if they sell the home for that amount of money or less than that, they don't have any taxes to pay. But if they sell it for an amount more than that, that's a capital gain. So an example is, back in the day, people used to just give their house away for $1. They'd sign their house to their child for $1 to try to protect it. And that will protect it from the nursing home, but there's a lot of negatives involved with that as well. And one of them is something called a carryover basis. So if mom and dad paid $20,000 for their house, and today their house is worth $120,000, it's appreciated $100,000. If they just sign the house over for $1, they give their children their low $20,000 basis in the property. And then when the children eventually sell the home, they have to pay capital gains tax on the difference between that original $20,000 basis and the $120,000 that they sell it for. So they're paying tax on $100,000.
Capital gains tax.
That's correct. And that's a bitter pill. That's going to be 15 or 20% on that gain.
Right. So that's huge.
It's much better to inherit a property from a trust or through a will and get the step up in basis so you don't have to pay that capital gains tax.
Right. Okay. I
Very
cleared
good.
that up. Very
all
good.
right. Okay. So one of the things, let's talk about all the different things that you do. You're a certified elder law attorney, and that's a big deal because there's less than 70 in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there's relatively few of us, and it is really, truly a specialty in the field of law.
You do estate planning, elder law, estate administration, and you also do special needs planning.
That's correct. We help people protect themselves and allow them to inherit assets and maintain public benefits. So oftentimes a person might have a child with special needs. That child might be in receipt of government benefits for health care or for income, and the parent doesn't want to disinherit the child. They want to leave them something, of course, and there are ways that can be done without jeopardizing their eligibility for public benefits.
Okay, so that's very complicated and complex.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and there's a lot of people in that position. And what happens when they pass? And I'm sure that's a major concern. So they would definitely need to speak with someone that knows this type of law.
That's right. I mean, I think the common thread with everyone is that they have an idea how they want their estate to pass, and it has to be planned to make sure that their wishes are carried out. We also have to always consider the possibility of a long-term care placement in the future. That's an incredibly important part of an estate plan. You really can't have an estate plan without thinking about long-term care, because long-term care, paying for that, is the single largest risk that most people have to being able to pass their estate on to their loved ones, because paying for long-term care is so expensive, over $12,000 per month. And it's so important to seek expert advice. I think of a client that I met with several years ago. This person had been staying in a nursing home and paying privately for her care for a couple of years. She and her family had gone to another attorney and received advice that it's too late. You're already in a nursing home. There's nothing you can do. They came in to see us kind of to get a second opinion. And as soon as we sat down with them, we found that their family actually fit one of the exceptions to the Medicaid rules. And we were actually able to qualify their mother immediately for medical assistance. So they ended up spending probably close to $200,000 that they didn't have to spend because they just didn't know the rules. And I was so, grateful that we were able to help them. But if they had seen us a little bit sooner, they would have been able to save their entire estate.
Well, you at least stop the bleeding.
Absolutely.
As the saying goes. So at least you were able to step in at some point before it was disastrous, completely disastrous. How about, have you ever been in a situation where people have gotten bad advice?
Yes. That actually happens quite a bit because there's so much misinformation out there, and everyone has an opinion. Whether that be your buddy at the bar, your hairdresser, everyone has an opinion as to how these rules work. And there are so many of these misconceptions that my partner Brenda and I are always trying to clear up. One of them is that people think that there is a 7-year look back. There's no 7-year look back on gifts. It's 5 years. People also think that you can gift up to $10 or $12 or $15,000 per year without any issues. And that's true for tax purposes, but for the nursing home and protecting your assets, that's simply not going to be a good strategy. So there's so many different myths and misconceptions that we're always trying to cure those people's misconceptions and tell them really how the rules truly work.
Okay, great. Attorney Kevin Griebus from Colbert and Griebus. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
Sure. They can call us at 570-299-7909, or they can visit us online at elderlawnepa.com. And our offices are right on Montage Mountain Road in Moosic.
Excellent. Thank you. Would you come back next week?
I would love to, Jackie.
Thank you. There's a lot more discussion to tackle with you. Pat?
Yes, if you're looking for an affordable home that you can fix up, we might have what you've been looking for. We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home at 28 7th Avenue in Carbondale for only $115,000. This home needs some TLC, and it could be right for you. It's actually located in downtown Carbondale with low taxes of only $1,800, and this is perfect for the investor. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home at 28 7th Avenue in Carbondale for only $115,000. That's listed by Amanda Rudis of our office.
Thank you, Pat. Pennsylvania town named one of the best places to live for families. Fortune recently ranked the top 50 towns for families, and Bensalem and Bucks County made the list. They used factors like healthcare, education, resources for seniors. Bensalem scored well enough to land in 26th place. Also, 2 Pennsylvania cities rank in top 10 for commuting options for residents without a car. Can you guess what those 2 cities are, Pat?
Philadelphia.
And?
Pittsburgh.
Right. Philadelphia's number 6, Pittsburgh number 10. Also, move over Florida. Once again, several Keystone State cities bested Florida locations as some of the top places to retire. Didn't we just have this discussion over dinner the other evening?
Yeah, I got friends of mine that are moving out of New York and coming here.
Right. The annual best places to retire in the U.S. list Lancaster as number 1.
How do you say that?
I didn't say it correctly. DC.
How do you say it?
Lancaster.
Sorry.
I say Lancaster. Lancaster is number 1. It's the number 1 place to retire in 2023. Other Pennsylvania metros named in the top 10 were Harrisburg, York, Allentown, and Reading. While analyzing the data for the 150 largest metros in the U.S., the study looked at happiness of local residents, housing affordability, tax rates, and health care quality.
How do you measure happiness?
I don't know, but I guess the question was, are you happy? And they answered yes, right?
Okay.
Quick shout out to my dear friend, Debbie Kravitz, who listens to our show week after week. Thank you, Debbie, and I miss you so much. We're out of time. Thanks for tuning into the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We'll be back next Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Have a great week.
Who are Century 21 agents? They're high-tech gizmo-packing problem solvers with an appetite for getting things done. They know the best places to buy a home, to sell a home, and to find antiques, if you're into that kind of thing. They're weatherproof, foolproof, and proof positive that smart people doing good work can make big things happen for great folks like you. Oh, and there's one nearby. This is who they are. This is what they do. Century 21 agents. Smarter, bolder, faster. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Hi, this is Jackie Ruddy from Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Is real estate on your mind? It's on ours 24/7. Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or in need of an appraisal, you have questions, we have answers.
Thinking of buying or selling a house and have questions? Tune in to the Real Estate Roundtable hosted by locally owned and operated Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday mornings at 11:30.
Call 570-344-6724 or visit jready.com. That's JRUDDY.com.